Really, can you believe that those plants were in a little teeny pot this size? Isn't that incredible? I'll share pictures with you. I actually took this little plastic pot and I put it in that little decorative clay pot until they were ready to be replanted. And I will insert pictures now showing you where I photographed them. Still winter. It was before spring. It was before the equinox. So it's been a few months, but I'll insert those photos now so you can see these in that original little planter when I photographed them. And now look at them. I can't even believe it. You don't realize how much they grow unless you start doing these videos and taking pictures and really tracking. And then you can look back and think, oh my goodness, this has grown so much. Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Patty and I'm in Virginia Beach and it's hot. It's July the 2nd, 2018, and today I'm going to give you a little check-in with some of my plants that I potted or repotted or replanted, I should say. Replanted this spring, and they've outgrown their planter and I'm going to move them. So let's take a look at them. This is the plant setup in question, and you can see that this guy has just gotten so big. He's flopping over. It's kind of amazing, actually. I'm going to insert some footage here of what this plant looked like when I first put it in this little planter. Even I'm kind of shocked at the way it's grown. Just goes to show that when you give plants the right conditions, they will grow like crazy, and that's what's happened here. And even this one behind, this jade plant, it's grown like mad in comparison to where we started. So I'm going to show you where I'm keeping my succulents this summer. This is not fancy, but it's what I have and it seems to be working. So let's take a look. I pulled this plastic shelf out of my shed that's in the back, my garden shed, and we were going to get rid of it, and then, I don't know, I just parked it here, and then I put some plants on it, and I was like, this is not a bad place for the succulents to live this summer, and they're doing really well. So I'll show you what I have. This is the biggest one that I have right here. I don't know what it's called. I have to look it up and I'll insert that in the video below. But it has just done so well. I really need to change the soil in here because I learned that I should be using cactus soil, and I think if I replant things and use the proper soil, they'll do even better. But let's see if you can see. Frankly, it's so darn dark I can't hardly see when I'm filming out here. In focus or not. There's a lot of new growth on this plant. Down here, this little guy, I think this was called a burro's tail. I don't know the correct plant name, but this was almost dead. All I was able to salvage was the rosette, and I put it in here, and I didn't think it was going to do anything, but now that it's outside and it's getting all this heat and light, it's doing great. I didn't watch my plants carefully enough last year, and I wound up having scale and spider mites and all kinds of stuff, and actually I need to get in and treat them now for some spider mites that are trying to move in. Let me show you this. So these are a couple of babies that I have coming on. And this is from the giant succulent that I'm going to be replanting today. And this one is from the jade plant in the same little planter. Whatever, the same planter. I'll do some better close-ups of that and insert that here. So over here I've got these, and this one is doing really well. These two here are babies or pups that I was able to cut and root from the parent plant, which is this big one over here. I guess it's an aloe of some sort, but I don't know. I had to look it up. Now this one I know is an echeveria. This one has grown like crazy too. This one, I had a ginormous one last year and it got totally infected with scale and spider mites and fungus, and it was a terrible scene, and I wound up losing it, and I salvaged one little itty bitty tiny pup and nursed it along through the winter, and now it's really doing well. So yeah, I learned a lot with these guys last year. This one this is an aloe of some sort. Let's see if I can put it over here. And again, this one has also grown like crazy, so it's probably going to be put into a new planter while I'm at this. And then this setup, sorry for the lighting. This setup I showed you in an earlier video. I'll link to that. And these are really outgrowing the planter here. This guy, this one is the same as this one. And this one really needs to be cut back. So what I'm going to do is plant it so that the these bumps that were where the oh god, this video, I'm so sorry. The bumps where the leaves were, apparently roots will grow from there, so I'm just going to trim this thing back and stick it in the soil, and it should grow without a problem. So we'll see. This plant lived in my office for the winter, and I brought it out here, and it's pretty well shaded. I mean, these baby tears are getting a lot of light, but they seem to be doing okay. I gave them a massive haircut. You can kind of see where I trimmed them off. They were like all the way down to the ground, so they're doing well. They're super thick, and even this nerve plant is doing pretty good. I do keep it shaded. I don't let it get any direct sun on it. So it seems to be doing okay out here. So yeah, that's my little setup. It's not super fancy, but it does work. And yeah, I'll try to get some footage of it later in the day when the light is a little better. I know I shouldn't be shooting right now, but oh, I had a bug. I know I shouldn't be shooting right now, but the truth of the matter is I've got to get these things moved, and I have to do it now. So I wanted to get the video of them before I move them around. Okay, so I've relocated to under the tree. The light's a little better. I just really want you to take in the size of that plant. And I apologize for not knowing what it is, but I don't know. If you know, feel free to leave a note. I do know that the one on the right side of the picture is a jade plant, but this really tall one, I don't know what it is. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in its new home, and when I get them in the planters, I'll check back in with you. I'm not going to do the whole repotting or replanting because I have a video where I showed how I did that. I'll link to it now in the upper corner, and I'll also put it below. So I'm going to go put this in its new home, and I'll check back in with you and show you what it looks like. As promised, I'm checking back in with you at the end of the day so you can see the plants in their new planters. And I'm shocked at how big they are. So they were both in that little small, well, small now, log look planter, and I put them now into these little twinning ceramic pots that I had. I just got them at Home Depot one year, and I like them because you can mix and match the colors. They're like good general purpose planters. But what I want to draw your attention to is that the gigantic plant in the blue pot, when I got it, it was in that little itty bitty plastic pot that you see on the left. It was that small, and that's only like 4 months ago maybe. It was unbelievable. It was in that little teeny pot. So it was kind of getting top heavy. It was flopping over, and what I wound up doing was I pulled some twigs that I found in the yard, and I used them to support the plant and to help it grow more upright. And it blends in really nice. It doesn't just sort of stand out. It doesn't draw your eye. So you just sort of enjoy the nice natural look of the plant. And so I think that works. And this thing is still growing its brains out. So we'll have another check-in with it at the end of the summer. I am not sure where it's going to live when I have to bring everything in at the end of the season, but I'll worry about that when the time comes. And the jade, I am amazed at how much it's grown. It was also in one of those little teeny pots. And now look at it. Let's come in closer. So you can see it's very happy. It's just got all kinds of new growth on it. And yeah, super. I saw one tonight in the farmer's market that was huge. So these plants will grow into massive plants if they are given the opportunity. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, there's my end of day progress. And I used just cactus soil, and I just literally moved the plants. I left the root ball intact and just put it right into the cactus soil. I have not watered them yet. I saw on YouTube where people said you should let them sit for a day or two after you repot them to make sure that there's no damage to the roots, and if there is, it has time to heal. So I'm going to follow that advice and just wait a couple of days, and then I'm going to give everything a nice big drink, and I'm going to give it fertilizer. And it will also top dress the soil at that time. I just didn't do it today. I'll be honest with you. I just didn't feel like being out here. It's hot. I don't want to leave without sharing these two and their new home. So this is the bigger log-looking planter, and I decided to put them in there to give them a little more space. And the one that was in the middle of them, I planted some of the stalk down into the soil and put it in its own planter. And I actually have two of these, which I didn't realize until I put it in a similar planter, and I went, oh my gosh, I've actually got two of these guys. So there you go. Yeah, I'll top dress the soil, but I'm not doing it tonight. That'll be a project for later. But that was my day. I got my my little succulents into their new homes, and they seem to be quite happy. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you next time.